What's going on? It is Grego Gallagher, and I am back with the Road Trip podcast. I know it's been a couple weeks since the last episode, but I want to bring down a special episode to ring on the new year, and that's why the title on this one is Become a Badass in 2015. And we were going to go with how to make 2015 your bitch, but we thought it might be a little bit too much. Anyways, I'm here with a special guest, Ryan Magin. What's going on, man?
How's it going, Greg? Glad to be on here.
Yeah, it's going quite well. And so in today's episode, we're going to be talking, yes, a little bit about fitness, but we're going to be talking really about the whole picture. How to become well-rounded, how to build a great lifestyle, and how to, have a very fulfilling 2015. So we're going to get into different topics, including style and fashion. And Ryan McGinn has a really interesting story because he's been, passionate about fitness for a long time. But he really used a mix of style and fitness to essentially create a great persona and to attract a lot of women, because style is a important part of the equation. You can build a great body, you can have a good amount of muscle, be really chiseled, but if you're dressing like a 1980s pro bodybuilder, with those clown pants, whatever. I mean, that's obviously an exaggerated example. But if you're not wearing well-fitted clothing, if you're just dressing sloppy, you're not going to look that great. And so, let's start there, Ryan. What piqued your interest in terms of style?
Well, I know we talked about it a couple times before, but mainly I was really into fashion, or not. I was kind of getting into fashion and style. I wouldn't say I wasn't obsessed with it like I am now. But I was really leaning down a lot, and none of my clothes kind of fit because I really concentrated on like strongman. I live here in St. Petersburg, Florida, so one of my closest friends is Elliot Hulse, and he was a pro strongman. So I kind of just did whatever program Elliot was doing because I liked to train with him, more for the mental capacity of training. You do strongman type of training, you beat yourself up. It's very torturous, and it's you kind of hate yourself to train like that. But I got really, really big and bulky, and I was 240 pounds, and I'm like, well, fuck. None of my clothes fit, and then when I went to try to buy new clothes, they all looked like shit because I was so big, and I'm like, well, what's the deal here? So I kind of got away from the strongman. And I was like, well, I need to just get lean. I've never been lean in my life, so let me just try to get as lean as possible. So I hired a natural bodybuilding coach. Was the first coach I'd ever hired. And he basically taught me, IIFYM, how to count macros properly. And for a year, I did nothing but, a good bit of cardio, like the Wendler's 5x5 program, and I just really kept my diet tight, and I tracked everything. And I would drop from 240 all the way down to 195 pounds, and I was really, I had to top 4 abs for the first time in my life, but when I got there, I realized none of my clothes fit me anymore, so I just said, well, what do I start wearing? And I wanted to, by this time I had broken up with my girlfriend, she had basically dumped me, and in that process, I was kind of distraught, I didn't know why.
Nothing's better than a good breakup to motivate, give you a kick in the butt.
It really puts everything into perspective for you, and I'm like, well, fuck, I want to change everything about myself. And one of the reasons we had broken up was she was on the career path. She was really starting to excel at her job. She was hanging around a lot of wealthier people, guys that wore suits, guys that were well-dressed. So naturally, I was I've grown up racing BMX. I've made a living as an entrepreneur. I've never had to really conform to anything. So I had this, fuck you attitude and style, and I basically dressed like I was 16. In a almost 29-year-old body. So I'm like, all right, well, something needs to change. So at the time, I was really broke, just kind of because I had to move out, get furniture. I was buying all kinds of shit for a new apartment because we had lived together. So I was like, I really need to just kill off the old version of me and start fresh. So I just started researching fashion, and what I realized was, one, there was a lot of information out there. Two, everything that all the magazines and shit recommended was way outside of my price range. I mean, you try to dress like a GQ model, and you're out $5,000 on a coat. And I'm like, how do people do this? So I really just started, I got on Reddit. I started learning the basics of fashion. And then I just kind of jumped in and started buying my own clothes. But in the process of doing that, I kind of realized I had a knack for it. Like I could put together really good shit and not spend a lot of money. So a lot of my friends who made fun of me at first, now mind you, I'm single at this time, so I'm going out and I'm just getting hit on left and right. And I've never had a problem with girls. Talking to them has never been an issue for me. So it was like a big kind of cool thing for these girls to actually be approaching me. And it was really because I was just dressing better than everybody in the bar. And I started getting like invited to cooler places like upper level clubs. I was getting offered comp tables, bar tab. There's just all kinds of perks for just being good looking. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So in that process, all my friends kind of started saying, yo, dude, can you take me to the mall? Can you help me do this? And I started dressing all my friends. And that turned into, I started getting paid for style consults. And then by basically my fitness business, that was just me trying to just talking about my workouts turned into me helping guys get lean, but at the same time, dress better. And now it's like 90% dressing better and 10% fitness. It's kind of flip-flopped, and that's where I'm at today. And then, I've released a couple products, but really my whole goal is just simplify the process of style. So like just your average dude who works like a normal job can afford to look like a badass.
Yeah, that's a really great story. I like that for a few reasons, and yeah, of course, I flipped through some GQ magazines in my time, and it's like, all right, $600 on shoes, $120 on a T-shirt. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't think anyone like seriously wants to drop that kind of cash, and you don't have to. And in your courses and your content, you put together amazing outfits, and you don't have to spend like a fraction of that. Like it's phenomenal, and people don't even realize that your outfit maybe costs like $60 altogether, and plus like your boots and whatnot, or $100. And so what are the key points towards not like keeping a lower budget and dressing really well?
Well, number one is you got to understand clothes are like you can wear Dolce & Gabbana, you can wear Tom Ford, but if it doesn't fit, it still looks like shit. So the whole thing that I try to like ingrain in my people, and I talk about it in pretty much every YouTube video, every part of my product, every email I send, it's like fit. Fit is everything. So it's learn your body type, like learn how to buy a blazer or a jacket that fits you right. And if it doesn't fit you right, get a good tailor, because the $20-$30 you're going to spend on the tailor, it's going to make you look like Tom Ford. And people don't understand that because guys especially don't even know what a tailor, mainly don't even know what a tailor is. They think if it's like a seamstress where women go to get their dresses hemmed. And that does go down there, but at the same time, a guy like you and me can walk in there with a dress shirt and say, hey, can you make me look like Brad Pitt in this? And then they just hold your arms out, do a bunch of magic, and charge you $20, and you wear the shirt, and it's like it was painted on you, and it looks perfect.
Right.
And, like that's like the key, and it doesn't matter which. Like I mean, obviously, like I have a really expensive blazer I bought. It's a Hugo Boss. Needed no tailoring. It was almost $500. It was like my biggest fashion purchase ever, but it looked amazing, and it was like I put it on. I was like, I have to have this. But that's just one of my blazers. I have another blazer that I wear all the time that cost me $22.50 at Target and $10 to get it tailored. And I wear that just as much as I wear the $450 Hugo Boss blazer. And I would be wearing that black one, and people would think it's like a Tom Ford. They're like, oh, dude, it just fits you perfect. But it's just, I learned, I don't buy shit just to buy shit. I buy shit, oh, well, I like it, but it doesn't fit me right. Put it back on the rack, keep going. And that's what I've also learned, is that you don't need to spend money on a lot of clothes. You just need to buy certain key pieces that look really good on you. And then you just kind of slide in different parts of that. Like you need one or two good pairs of dark, slim denim jeans. One good, denim kind of cool, leather type jacket. One nice fitting blazer. 2 or 3 nice fitting button-ups. And then you just kind of mix and match these same outfits when you go out, and nobody knows the difference. And unless you're going out every single night of the week, like if you're a club promoter, this does not apply to you because you do need a lot of clothes. But if you're just a regular guy who goes out Friday and Saturday, maybe the occasional dinner party on a Tuesday or Wednesday for a friend, nobody's going to know you're wearing the same shit over and over again because it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's also what I like a lot about your courses and your stuff, is because you teach the concepts, you teach what you have to do, But someone like me, if I just kind of read about the concepts, I'm like, so what do I buy?
Yeah.
So what do I buy? I still don't have an idea. Like I need to see examples of good outfits, so it really becomes ingrained. Like I'm an example guy. I have to see like the examples, so I know where
Yeah.
if my head's at the right place. And you provide tons of examples of sweet outfits. So if someone doesn't want to have to do all the thinking, they can be like, okay, I need to get a black V-neck, this type of jeans, these kind of boots, this type of jacket, and I'm good. And then once you do that for a while, then you kind of figure things out. And so just to kind of pump the gears for a second, let's say someone's listening right now. They're into fitness. They build a great looking body. They want to do better with women. They want to, become more successful. And they've put like maybe zero attention to their style. Why would they want to go and take the time and the effort to dress better? What are they going to get from that?
Well, first off, I mean, whether or not anybody listening wants to admit it, people are very judgmental, especially women. If you're a guy, women are judging you the second you walk into a bar. If some part of you looks attractive and they like you, they start judging you, and they're going to start knocking your points down. So let's say you start at 10 points. If your haircut's messy and hasn't been cut in a while, you're at a 9. If you're scruffy and you look like shit at scruffy, you're at an 8. If your shirt's wrinkled and unbuttoned, you're at a 7. Like, you just keep going down. Eventually, they're going to talk themselves out of even thinking you're attractive. So it's like, when I'm telling guys, I'm like, look, you got to give yourself the best possible chance. You want to walk in with, it's like you're going to war. You don't want to come into, a knife to a gunfight. So you have to understand that, like, first impressions are everything, and especially with fashion, it's so easy to manipulate a positive first impression, especially with a woman, that it makes no sense for guys not to do it. And it's so these little simple things that you can do that they add up, and it's especially like single guys and married guys. Like, I mean, both of them have their battles get out from, but as single guys, it's like you're always getting judged down, and women are always talking themselves out of basically sleeping with you, because that's obviously the goal. It's like sleep with a girl, maybe have a relationship, go on a date, whatever it is you want to do. They're looking at you like they don't want to do that right off the bat. They're like, no, I'm not a whore. I'm not going to sleep with this guy. And here's why. His hair sucks. His shirt's wrinkled. His shoes look like they're from 1985. And then you're screwed. But if they're doing that and they're like, damn, he looks like he just got his hair cut yesterday. Oh, he's just handsome. Like, his shirt's tucked in. He looks good. It's not wrinkled. That jacket looks like it was made for it. Like, then you're just like, then if you just happen to go and say, hi, I'm Greg, nice to meet you. What's your name? Yada, yada. Let me get you a drink. All of a sudden, the whole guard is down, and they're more apt to talk to you. Now, you got to you can fuck it up royally from that point forward, but that point at least gets you in the door to give, like, a normal guy a chance, at least just not have himself judged to the point that, he's going to say, hi, no. Because we've all had that happen. I've been rejected like that. I've seen my friends get rejected like that. It sucks. It knocks down your confidence. So that's like one thing, and especially too, like with married guys, the people that are in a relationship, for whatever reason, it's like when you get in a relationship, it's like people think it's okay, I can give up now, and they get fat, they start dressing sloppy, they just get lazy. I don't know what it is. Like, I strive to never have that happen, but even if you're in a relationship and you're not dressing well, your wife's going to lose attraction with you, and then she's going to look to other men. She's going to look to guys like me and you who are dressed well at a bar, and she could possibly either have thoughts of cheating on her husband or even actually do it, which sucks. And as a guy, you're just like, well, I'm the same guy. I'm just maybe a little bit 10 pounds overweight and not dressed as well now. Because at some point, guys like to impress girls, and guys like to impress other guys and flaunt, like, hey, look at me. I look jacked. This shirt makes me look good. Like, we all do that. So it's by having that on point, you're always going to have that feeling. You're always going to have that extra confidence, and it just sets you up for, success. I mean, that's just in the women aspect. Now, take that over into like a professional attire. You're not going to go into a job interview looking sloppy. You're trying to have a good first impression. The guy sitting in front of you judges your fate. He says, okay, I'm going to hire you. Why should I hire you? Well, you don't want to give him the idea, well, this guy can't dress. That's number one. Like, that, then you're screwed from the get-go. Then he's going to do the same thing a woman does. Oh, well, his suit's really sloppy. It looks 4 sizes too big. I mean, what is he wearing? Are those, like, Skechers? Like, I mean, did he wear Crocs to a job interview? Like, all these things just lower your value as a person. And it all starts with just, like, literally the clothes that you wear and the first impression people see with you. And they
Right.
call that they call it the halo effect. If anybody wants to, I know you said there's a lot of women that listen to this, but the halo effect is something I studied pretty extensively, and it's that basically people look at like an angel with a halo on, and they can get past a lot of character flaws if you're dressed very well, you smell good, and you're smiling and you're confident. Like those things and they all kind of work together. Like I mean, not saying that like women will date like a murderer, but I mean that's probably happened. I mean that's why even in court cases and things, when people go to court, they're all in suits and ties, they're all dressed really well, and they look like thugs. Like even guys with neck tats, like face tats, their lawyers dress them up because even the judge is going to perceive them. Oh look, well at least he dressed up for court.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts all these preconceived judgments and notions of what you're wearing to what people think, and that they call it the halo effect. I wrote a lot about it on my blog and in my videos and stuff, so people can check that out.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, now we have like a pretty thorough glimpse into why someone should, take the time to have good outfits. You don't have to have like a massive wardrobe of 50 different shirts. You just need to have some cool key staple items that you can wear throughout the week. It's pretty simple to do. It doesn't have to be that expensive. Ryan's put together a very awesome course, 51 Handsome Guy Secrets. If you guys want to check that out, go to kinobody.com/gethandsome. Very cool stuff. And he's got an awesome Facebook group about that. And so let's like shift gears away from style. And so one cool thing I talked about in one of my latest articles. There's this new movie coming out. I believe it's the 50 Shades of Grey movie.
Oh yeah.
The actor is Jamie Dornan, and so
I read that article. Great workout, by the way. I love your workouts on those articles.
Okay, yeah, thanks, man. I wanted to write about it because it's going to get a lot of attention, and this is essentially, the character is just designed to like appeal to women, and so he's got a very lean physique. He's not that jacked, but one of the things I bring up in the article is that sometimes when you try and build too much muscle. And this is what pretty much every guy that is taking steroids faces, if he takes them for long enough, is they just get too big and it becomes silly. And now, because here's the beautiful thing is like, is that if you build a great body, you build some good muscle, you get defined, all of a sudden you get tons of positive stereotypes, and that's magnified when you take care of your style. Because then you have like that Hollywood effect. If you ever look at like Hollywood actors, Cal Lutz, Chris Hemsworth, Zac Efron, some of these guys that have built, lean, fit, muscular bodies, they dress extraordinarily well. They get that combination, and that's when you get like that Hollywood effect. When people look at you, like, wow, like where have I seen you from?
Yep.
But when you build too much muscle, of course, all of a sudden you look like you're one-dimensional. Like all you care about is your workouts, what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. You're letting other aspects of your life slide. You don't care about the social life. And this may not even be true, but this is just judgments that people will pin at you because you just scream, I lift weights, I work out. And so all of a sudden, all those benefits, that silver platter of benefits you would be getting if you had an exceptional body, are now turned into just negative judgments and stereotypes. And that's one of the reasons why and you as well. I mean, we talk about building good amount of muscle, getting lean, but there's no need to obsess. There's no need to try and become, a professional fitness, bodybuilder, fitness model, et cetera, et cetera. And the cool thing is when you stop trying to become perfect, stop trying to become absolutely huge, the biggest guy in your gym, now you can actually relax a bit and enjoy the process and enjoy improving other aspects of your life. And so this is something cool. It's like, hey, me, for example, I could, work my ass off and try and build another 10 pounds of muscle. It would be very, very hard because I'm near that genetic limit. Or I could put a bit more emphasis into something else, into, becoming more charismatic, working on my social skills, improving my style, working on, stuff like meditation and becoming more present and into the moment. Having better control over my emotions. There's so many different skills that you can learning how to defend myself and stuff. There's so many different skills you can immerse yourself in. There comes a point in time where it's like, okay, fitness or like you're gonna get as much as you're ever gonna get from fitness. Now it's time to learn about other things or to apply yourself in other ways. And so That's something that I want some people to take with them for 2015 is, yes, let's work on improving ourselves, let's work on getting in better shape, but there's other areas to improve at too. And you don't have to, like I talk about, you don't have to train 9 days a week. You can get 3 hard workouts in, you can focus on proper nutrition, and then work on other areas or enjoy your life. And so I would just want to throw that in there because it's something that I think people really need to hear for 2015.
Well, yeah, and then that comes up because I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine on Facebook the other day. Because, it's January, first week of January, so everybody's posting their meal prep pics. And I get those all across my Facebook feed, and I'm like, God, fuck your meal prep. I don't give a shit that you cook 12 chicken breasts. I really don't care. And it's like I see this, and I'm like, the most shredded people I know and the most jacked have never really posted a meal prep pic. Like, they don't do it. It's like, and you can relate that to the wealthiest people don't flaunt it. The people that are like, they're looking for validation. They're looking for this self-validation. So they post up these pictures, and they're like, oh, yeah, look at my 12 cans of Tupperware with brown rice and chicken breasts in it. And I'm like, I give it 2 weeks. You're going to hate yourself. You're going to eat a fucking ice cream cake, and you're going to regret everything you did. Like,
yeah.
That's what happens. And I'm just like, oh, and like you said, and I don't envy, actually I used to, but I don't envy the bodybuilder that can eat dry chicken and brown rice 6 times a day for a year. Like, that does not sound like fun in my eyes. Like, it's the last thing I would ever want to do. Never drinking it again and only eating that just sounds like I would rather just shoot myself in the head, like with a staple gun or something that hurts really, really bad. Like, then do that. And it's like you said, it's like you do get negative stereotypes because people don't realize that, especially with style too, because I get a lot of hate just because I go to a lot of I go out on the weekends, me and my girlfriend go out, and I like dressing up. I like impressing my girlfriend. I like going to nicer restaurants where you're a well-dressed guy in the restaurant. Like, maybe the meal costs a little more expensive than going to let's say Chipotle or something like that. But, not saying I don't love Chipotle because I do. But I like, it's Thursday night, Friday night, it's like a date night with a girl, or you're going on a date with a girl. And obviously, if you're going on a dinner and it works out well, you want to continue that date going. You go get some drinks. So in that, naturally, I spill over and be a little well-dressed at bars that maybe everybody there isn't very well-dressed. And this is something that a lot of my clients and customers talk about is how do you deal with the hate of always being too well-dressed. And I'm like, I just own it. I don't care. They can think, I've been called pretentious. I don't even know. I'm like, well, you probably have more money than I do, so I don't think I'm pretentious, but yes, these shoes probably make me look like I'm a badass. So I see it, and people don't realize, but when you hold a mirror up to somebody's face, if you're the embodiment, especially with fitness, if you're in really good shape, you're really lean, and you stand in front of somebody who has a damaged self-confidence, a shattered ego about their persona and their body, then they're obviously going to hate on you and have those negative kind of effects. So I don't know if that kind of makes a little bit of sense for what you were saying, but I get that the diminishing self-returns. You don't want to just completely succumb to something, because I could become completely obsessed with fashion to the point where I'm wearing those Kanye West capes. I don't even know what the fuck to call those things, but he's wearing them a lot. And obviously, it's working for Kanye West, but I don't think that would work for me or you. We might get in fights at a bar for no reason wearing a cape, but those are ways that you could. Just people get obsessed with a lot of certain things, and I definitely understand what you're saying, and I hope that made sense of what I just said. But
yeah, actually, that's a cool point. You can take this stuff same way in fitness. You can focus on building a great body, and you get a ton of benefits. But if you go too far, then not only do you get a lot of diminishing returns, you get a lot of reversing returns where you lose that positive effect. Well, that applies to a lot of stuff. And yeah, you could put on a cape and try and dress way too ostentatious, and now it's working against you. So something definitely to be cognizant of. And I like how you brought up the whole fact of, on Facebook, you see some of these guys that are starting these fitness journeys, and they're looking for validation. They're putting up their meal prep pics. And that same concept of looking for validation via look at the diet I'm following, look at how dedicated I am, that's something that kills attraction with both men and women. Is when someone's craving that validation. Yo, like me. Why don't you like me? Compliment me. me. And it just seems needy, and it just seems just manipulative. It's yo, whoa, what is wrong with this person? Jesus.
And I
Okay.
think culture right now too is definitely accentuated that whole thing, especially with Instagram. I mean, how many? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like looking at half naked chicks with abs on my Instagram feed. You know, that's cool to look at. But at some point, it's like, what value are you providing to the world? Like, I get it. The first 70 pics on your profile of you with abs, like, I get it. You know, you've got some shit going. You can eat good. You can work out. I get it. But do I need to see 5 selfies a day of your abs? Like, I mean, in the society, and it's like it's very vain, everything now. I mean, it's like society's trying to make you fat, but at the same time honoring the vain people that don't succumb to like the McDonald's, the Taco Bell. But then they go on Instagram, and it's like, if you see all these ripped people, it's making everybody else feel like shit. They're going to eat McDonald's and Taco Bell. So it's like this big weird circle happening right now with like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Because, I mean, when you go on Instagram, I mean, attractive girls have the most followers. And it's just dudes like, oh, I love your abs. And same thing with guys. I see these fitness model guys with massive followings. And I'm like, okay, you got abs, but where's the value you're providing to the world? And that's what I like about, like, especially your stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm doing that with, you know, I know I'm doing that with a lot of my stuff, but it's just this, people, if they're getting in shape and the journey is like, it's one thing to post your meal prep pics, but it's also another to help somebody prepare their meals and teach them how to do that. You know, like, I don't care, like, looking at all your food, but, like, okay, well, how did you bulk cook 27 chicken breasts? I'd like to know that, because my oven's not that big. So how did you manage that? Like, so, like, things like that people don't think about, but I mean, I guess I do. I guess I'm weird like that. But it's providing value to the world. Like, most people don't provide any value, but, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm out.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the topic of smashing 2015 and making it your BITCH, that's one thing to work on for everyone, you know, including myself, is let's stop looking for validation in some way, because invariably, I mean, we all want it. It's all
Yeah.
part of being human. Is like, you know, we want that affirmation from other people, and so it's very cool once you can kind of slide past to that and be totally comfortable in your own skin and totally comfortable without getting any form of validation. So that's something that's cool. And just in my recent personal experience, it's very interesting how often we're trying to get something in some way or another. I mean, even just a simple example is of, let's say someone's listening right now. Let's say their name is give me a name. Give me a name. John. John is too stereotypical. We got to keep going. I always have so many Nathaniels. There's so many Nathaniels following my stuff and emailing me. It's like every Nathaniel in the world interested in fitness and building a great. It's funny. So let's say you're Nathaniel is listening, and if you're Nathaniel and you're actually listening, this is amazing. But let's say you're going up and you're talking to a girl, and like you're like, I really want this girl's number. I really want this to work out. I really want her to like me. Well, in some way or another, the interaction is just flawed right from the get-go, because there's a hidden agenda there. You want it to work out, and so you're not truly expressing and being present in the interaction. It's like, how can you go up and talk to someone and literally just be completely free of whatever happens, not even care? Sure, you want to get the number and see her again, but just just make that moment enough. When you pull that away, and you're just kind of like almost kind of connecting in a certain way. I know this sounds a little bit woo-y. It's a whole different ball game, and this is what happens when guys go out to bars and they talk to girls. Maybe they're a bit awkward for the first part of the night, but then eventually they're having such a great time they don't really care, and then there's almost like that magnetic effect, which is cool. And so,
Well, I think what you said too, it comes from. I'm good friends with Jason Capital. He's a top dating coach. We're really good friends, and he always talks about. He calls it your high status self, and it's basically you want to provide so much value to the world that other people just want to be around you because of the value that you provide. And I mean, just going back to my story and what I was doing, like I never obviously charged any of my friends for dress advice and helping them style themselves because they're my friends. Like that's my way of providing value. So like naturally, when I would go out, I would have a lot of people around me, and they were always having fun. And it brought up my social value just because of helping all these other people. You know, and women notice that too, especially, you know, they want to be around the fun guy. They don't want to feel creeped out. They don't want to be like, you know, sitting at the bar and like, hey, I like your dress and shoes tonight. Like no girl wants that. They want to be around like a group of guys and be having fun, 2 or 3 guys. They have 2 or 3 girlfriends. Everybody's having fun, and then if there happens to be the one girl that you like more than the others, then if you're already having fun, the vibe, like I said, the guard is down. It's easy to go, oh, let me grab you. You need a drink? I got you. Let me get you one. And it's like a lot of pickup would be like, never buy her the drink. Well, it's okay. Okay. Well, then just say, hey, I think you should buy me another drink since we're having so much fun. There's easy ways to flip situations, but it all comes from you have to be comfortable with yourself. You can't be needy, and you have to have your own confidence for your own like path in life and what you're accomplishing. Like regardless if a girl comes into your life, Greg, tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to write an awesome blog post. You're going to film a video. You're going to help thousands of people. So it's like and this is just like an internet-based business. Like if I ever go out and like I know tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to write an email, I'm going to help a lot of people. I'm going to post a picture to my Instagram that I made that's going to help 908 guys dress better that day. Like you have like a purpose, and that type of purpose is what raises your self-worth, raises your value, and makes you more attractive without you doing anything. And it comes from just kind of having your shit together and not, like if you're unhappy with your life, if you're doing a job you hate, naturally you're not going to be a guy that girls want to be around. Like you're going to be, because that the universe is going to, and going back to your woo-woo, you're going to be sending off negative vibes where women are going to be like, well, I don't want to be around that guy if he's like unhappy every day. Like you think a girl wants to get a text message from a dude that hates himself? Probably not. Like I'm not a girl, so I don't know, but I'm assuming if it's guys like, oh, what'd you do? Oh, I filmed 12 YouTube videos. I helped this dude dress well. I went to the mall. I talked to this, the sales rep. I helped her like pick out, like if you're doing positive shit every day, you're providing value to the world. That's making you look better as a person in general. And same thing, when you're naturally more confident, you're going to know people at bars. You're going to know the bartenders. You're going to be friends with a lot of people. You're going to know the door guy. You're probably not going to wait in line. You're going to be a guy that the girls want to be around. Because no girl wants to wait in line. So even if that's the only skill perk they get from being around you, then that's your way in. Like that's like a cool. Oh, that's your value to this group. It's like, oh, I know that guy. Come on. Like just stupid shit like that. But it adds to your social value, and that's where a lot of guys lack. They lack social value. They go out with their same group of friends, and they do the same things. They look like shit. They hate their life. They hate their job. They're not happy. They don't have goals. They don't have aspirations, and they can't get laid. My guess is that it all ties together.
Right. Yeah. That's.
I kind of ranted there for a minute, but.
No, that was solid. That's a very good point. And that goes back to the whole point of not being one-dimensional. Improving yourself in a few different areas. Taking care of your fitness. And actually, I put up if you go to kinobody.com/survey, I put up basically a way to determine the best program for you. You need to focus on fat loss, muscle building, etc., etc. If you guys want to check that out, it's very cool. Actually, I wanted to ask you, are you still doing? Because I know you're very close with Elliot Hulse, and he talks a lot about this bioenergetic stuff. Have you still been doing that?
I do a little bit. I like basically like me and Elliot, we always kind of have these talks because bioenergetics in itself is weird as shit. Like, and you got to be an interesting type of person to literally lock yourself kind of in a room and scream at the top of your lungs and hit pillows. Like, I did that for probably, and I'm not saying I did that, and it helped, and it got a lot of pent-up aggression, and it actually did improve my posture by getting kind of all that shit out of me. But now it's more, for me, bioenergetics is different. Now I do it through, like, I'm not big on meditating, but I do like to read a lot. So it's like I probably quintupled my reading output. I try to read 1 or 2 books a week right now. Yeah. And then that, in a way, is a form for me for bioenergetics, as well as I do a lot of cycling, which I kind of got away from when my life kind of crumbled apart a little bit. I got away from cycling, so for me, cycling is meditative. Like, I like going by myself with music, and I just ride miles. And as a side benefit, it's a lot of cardio, too, and I happen to enjoy it. But as far as bioenergetics, like, I still do a lot of, like, the dynamic warm-up. If I need to, like, get charged up and get myself in a positive state, like, as Tony Robbins would say, I do a lot of, like, just the basic bioenergetics, like, jump up and down and like, because it makes you feel good when you get done. Like, so it's but yeah, so I don't do it like when the last time we talked about it, I was legitimately like, I was going like 1 hour a week doing nothing but dynamic meditation and bioenergetics with Elliot. And I did that for about, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks. And I mean, I think I got a lot out of it, and obviously I could probably get more out of it, but for me that was enough, because just to do that type of thing, you have to get really far out of your comfort zone, especially with a friend. If you know the guy that's helping you do it, which I'm really good friends with Elliot, so jumping around with Elliot with my shirt off, like, just gets kind of weird. And I mean, not for him, but I those are like insecurities and self-conscious coming out of me. But just to be able to do that is, I mean, I loved it when I was doing it, and maybe I'll go back to doing that again. But you take little bits and pieces that helped you if you do that, and then just kind of apply it to other areas, you know. But I do think bioenergetics, like the main core stuff, which Elliot talks about all the time on his channel, and the exercises, I mean, it improved my posture 100%. Like, I actually have like a little bit of trap now, and I've never seen traps in my life. And I don't do traps, but it's just because I actually stand up tall now. And that was from a lot of like a lot of deep breathing, and just like basically when Elliot has the bioenergetic stool, which is like you do, it's like kind of like a yoga bend, but you just kind of sit on it and breathe. I still do that in my warm-ups here and there if I feel like I'm kind of crunching over, because that really opens you up. So yeah, I still do little bits and pieces of it, but when we talked, I was doing like full-on like therapy sessions of it, and it helped. It got me through a rough time, but I think you have to be in a rough time to kind of appreciate what that is, I guess you could say. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I watched some of his videos, and I was like, whoa, what is going on here? What is he doing? And it's cool, the stuff it releases. I only tried it a couple times, and actually I started doing something a bit different. It's just connected breathing. It's a form of meditation, which is like a constant inhale, exhale through the nose. So there's no pause, and it just kind of builds up like body awareness. It's a cool experience. So I felt that got connecting with a lot of things. So I guess we could probably wrap up here. If you guys want to, Ryan's got an amazing style course. Really solid, simple advice you can implement. And one of the best parts is that you got the Facebook group. So there's people there posting every day, asking tips. Ryan's active on it daily, sharing his outfits, commenting, giving people great tips, and that alone is of massive value. So if you guys want to look at his course, go to kinobody.com/gethandsome. Very, very cool stuff, and definitely do that. And then also, if you guys want to take your physique to the next level and find out what you really need to focus on in 2015, if you need to focus on recomping, dropping fat fast, or focusing on building muscle or slow cutting, all these different things. What do you need to do? Well, I created an awesome survey you can go fill out and find out the next step, and that's at kinobody.com/survey. Thank you so much for coming on, Ryan. It's been a blast, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome, man. And also, before you cut off, Greg, just the Facebook group is completely free now too. Like, because Facebook basically they're recommending it now, so I really couldn't stop. I originally had it just for my customers, but I just hit 500 members, so it's gaining like 10 to 15 or so members a day. Wow. And because I guess Facebook's recommending it to other groups and things in the sidebar, so I basically I can't not control it. So it's actually free. So if you guys don't want to buy my course and you're like, oh, I don't know if I trust this guy yet, most everybody that hops into the Facebook group usually purchases my course shortly after, and I think I have it down within like 7 days. They end up buying my course because of that.
So where do they go? Where do they go to go onto the group?
Literally just type in 51 Handsome Guy Secrets in the Facebook search bar, and it comes up. There's a group and my fan page. I don't use my fan page at all, so I don't even recommend people, like, you can like it if you want, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So, but yeah, it's like, just type that in. So, and a testament for your stuff, Greg, for those listening that haven't purchased any of your stuff, like, I think it was about 6-8 months ago I talked to you, because I was like, I was starting to climb back up again, and I couldn't figure out why. Mm-hmm. I switched back to like, literally, I go back to like almost 1-2 days a week of just working out and just focusing on other stuff and just kind of monitoring my diet. But we always talked about set points, and I've dropped, at that point my set point was like 225. Now it's down, I sit around 215 all the time. I'm trying to creep that down to 210 because I really like 210. But just from doing like just the basic advice that you say is and just like kind of chilling out and not working out a lot was like super helpful. So for those listening, like great shit really does work, and I mention him all the time in my newsletter just because I really like his stuff. So.
Oh, thanks so much, Ryan. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's very common. This is a phenomenon I see all the time. Is people trying to like take it too strict, and then that eventually backfires, and you're not getting anywhere, and you're like putting in so much effort. It's like, yeah, when you relax, you chill out, like then it's like the ball starts to roll again. That was my phenomenon that I experienced, and with tons of people. Very cool. All right, man. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll be publishing more episodes in 2015. Take care.